Hi, happy Tuesday. I know I've been posting most of the videos on Wednesday or Friday, but I had the opportunity to go pick up Sevi, our almost 16-year-old grandson, because he is very talented in making videos, and so he told me that he would come do this for me if I would make something that he could actually take home with him to eat. So I decided to do chocolate chip cookies today. So that's what we're going to start with, is chocolate chip cookies. And one thing I have kind of experimented with on the chocolate chip mixture is, I know the recipe on the back of the chocolate chip package says 2 sticks of butter. Well, I started trying to use 1 stick of butter, unsalted, and substituting shortening, Crisco shortening for the other stick. I like the texture of the cookies better. I think they get softer, and they just make a better chocolate chip cookie. So anyway, so that's what I've started doing. I've started using half shortening and half butter. So I've already put the shortening in the bowl, and we'll add a stick of butter. And I have to tell y'all, I was panicking on Friday because I looked at my refrigerator and I was down to less than a pound of butter. So Randy quickly rushed me off to Costco, and I now am the proud owner of 10 pounds of butter in the refrigerator. And so he's laughing behind the camera. But anyway, so I can cook to my little heart's delight. So you cream the butter and the sugar. So, and now I'm going to add the sugar. It's 3/4 cup of light brown sugar. I already measured it out. And 3/4 cup of just granulated sugar. I did forget the vanilla. We'll add the vanilla in just a minute. This is also, I think I've mentioned it in a couple of the other videos, my Mexico vanilla. It's just pure vanilla. When you order it, you can order it on Amazon. They have a blend, but don't get the blend. Just get the pure vanilla. And it's strictly just pure vanilla extract, but it's white. And sometimes it gets a little different flavor, maybe a little bit of a cinnamon flavor, but it's wonderful. It's delicious. So anyway, I'm going to mix up the sugar with the butter and the shortening. I don't know about the people in California. I think y'all had a pretty nice Memorial Day weekend. We had one that it rained the entire weekend. But we actually went to a restaurant Sunday night and met our Randy's brother and wife, sister-in-law, for Mexican food Sunday night, and it almost felt strange to be in a restaurant. We were about the only people on our side of the restaurant, but it was just nice to have hot food and not have to carry it home or eat in the car Sunday night. So that made the weekend a little special. Okay, so then add 2 eggs. Try to always get your eggs at room temperature. They just beat up better. And plus it gives the added consistency of room temperature ingredients to your dough. And you know what, I'll go ahead and add the vanilla just because the mixer stopped. And I've got a capful or a little over a teaspoon. I'm using a different mixing bowl than I've been using just because I didn't want y'all to think I had one mixing bowl. I do have quite a few, but it seems like the one I use all the time is the Wise Tyrant one is my favorite, but I love this red one also. It's pretty and it's a great size. So I dug it out from the cabinet to use it today. Okay, that is mixed in. Now, this is 2 1/4 cups flour, a teaspoon of baking soda, and I just sprinkle some salt in it. And I'm going to add that now to the sugar butter mixture. These rainy days and rainy nights when you're sitting watching movies, there's nothing better than a cup of hot tea or a glass of iced tea and a chocolate chip cookie. Oh, this you can add as much as you want. I forgot I keep a measuring spoon in there. I usually add about 2 cups. That's what the recipe calls for. Sometimes a little bit more. Sometimes a little less if I'm putting pecans in it. But because Sevy doesn't like pecans, I'm going to just make it with chocolate chips today. We'll start with that and mixing in the chocolate chips. Another thing I'm so thankful that I have invested in are these scoops. Instead of just using spoons to drop it onto the cookie sheet. It's really only been in the last, I guess, couple of years that I started using parchment paper to line cookie sheets. I'd always read it and heard about it, but I'd never really tried it. I don't know why, I can't tell you why, but anyway, I started using it and my goodness, it sure makes cleanup a lot easier. And it seems like it makes the cookie a little just, I don't know, it seems fluffier and holds the texture better, doesn't spread out on the cookie sheet as much. So I use this medium. I can't tell you what size that is. It doesn't say anywhere, but it's not the small one. It's not that little small one. It's the next size up, I guess. I just love the size of the cookie when it's done. And they make great size cookies to put together with frosting in the middle and call them double doozies. Some of you like that, don't you? Yeah, I thought you did. So these will bake approximately, I think, about 9 to 10 minutes. And when they come out, I know all the recipes tell you to put them on wire racks. I never do that. I always put them on paper towels because, once again, I think it affects the texture of the cookie. I think they remain softer and fluffier than if you put them on the racks. Racks seem to cool them so fast that they get crispy. So I always lay them out on paper towel. So we're going to put this first batch in the oven at 375. Okay, the cookies, the first batch is ready to take out. I'm going to go ahead and put a second batch in. I set the timer, I think, on 10 minutes a while ago. And of course, as each batch goes in, the oven gets a little hotter as it stays on longer. So I'll probably only cook those for about 8 minutes. But I'll check them after about 8 minutes and see. But you can see how fluffy these are. I think the shortening makes a huge difference. And they stay fluffy. I love that. So they're a little ooey gooey in the middle. Okay. Well, I'm going to keep making batches of chocolate chip cookies until the dough is all gone. But I want to tell y'all thank you for watching how to make a good chocolate chip cookie. And we'll see you next week. Thank y'all. Bye.